Okay, so we've got a couple of really nice phones out right now that are very similar in price, but very different when it comes to specs and features. Two phones I want to go over today are going to be the LG G2 and the Samsung Galaxy S4. These are both very nice phones. The G2 is a little bit newer, so it definitely has a couple of advantages over the S4, but the S4 has the Samsung name, which is an advantage the LG just can't touch. So I'm going to go into depth about some of the features and the specs these two phones have, just to kind of give you a comparison between the two and show you some of the selling points you can use to really put the right phone into the right customer. Okay, so first I'm going to go over the Galaxy S4. We're all pretty well familiar with it. Very nice phone, very nice camera, 13 megapixel camera, screen, full 1080p resolution, making it one of the highest resolution screens we sell. It's very fast with a nice 1.9 gigahertz quad-core processor. It's a very fast processor, and it also has 2 gigs of RAM. This phone is almost as powerful as people's home computers, actually. It does have a lot of really nice features, including the dual screen mode. If you just hold the back button for a moment, you can see that pops up here on the side. Pull that in, I can grab and drag the apps over here to the screen. I can actually grab multiple apps at the same time. I can resize this window here to any size I need, so that I can actually be running both apps at the same time in dual window mode. I can close them out as I need to, so that I've got them all the way out. It does have a built-in infrared right there on the top, so you can actually use this as a universal remote control. Just come in here to the apps, go to the Watch On app, then we come up here to the remote. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Come up here to the remote, and now I can actually control the TV here in the store using the phone. Give that a second to turn on. I can change the channels. I can even change the volume, turn it back off. So really cool feature. A lot of people like the fact that they can use their phone as a remote control. Another really nice feature of the Samsungs is the camera. In addition to being a very nice high megapixel camera, it also has a lot of camera modes. Set this back in here. So I can hit the mode button here, and that will bring up my modes. This wheel has all kinds of different modes. First one on the wheel is going to be Beauty Face. Beauty Face is a really useful mode because what it does is it actually photoshops your picture as you take it. So it'll clear up any 5 o'clock shadow, get rid of any acne, any blemishes at all. It'll just clear them up as you take your picture. Very nice mode. Best Photo. This is really useful if you're putting things online or if you really need a clear shot, maybe to send it to Kat. You just take the picture using Best Photo, and it will actually snap 8 pictures very quickly and show you which one has the least amount of blur in it. So you get the very best picture every single time. Very useful when you need that clear shot. Whoops. Hit cancel. Next mode I want to show you guys is called Best Face Mode. This is great for families if parents come in with their kids. It's very hard to get a good picture of all your kids at once sometimes. So using Best Face takes 5 pictures, then you can choose each person in the picture. You can select their face and swap it out for any of the 5. So say you're taking your picture and somebody sneezes or blinks. You can actually swap back to one where they're not and put that one on the group photo instead. Very useful for families. The next big one is going to be the HDR mode. This is great for areas where you have a lot of light in one part of the picture and a low light in another part. In HDR mode, it will give you the perfect light settings in every part of your picture. Very useful right there. Eraser mode eliminates photobombing. So if somebody moves while you're taking the picture or walks in front of you or jumps up behind your shot, you can actually remove them from the picture and still see the things behind them. Completely eliminates the photo bombing. Then, of course, we have night mode, just to get those nice low light shots. Very useful there. So a lot of great camera features. It can also run both cameras at the same time, which is a very nice feature, but not in this mode. So that's the Galaxy S4 in a nutshell. All right, over here we have another great phone, the LG G2. Right now we're actually running a sale on the G2 for the rest of the holidays, where it'll be $100 off till the end of Christmas. Great time to take advantage of this phone because, honestly, it's actually more powerful than the Galaxy S4. So while we still have that nice high-resolution screen here, which we can access just by double tapping the screen, it actually is slightly larger than the Galaxy S4. Galaxy S4 has only a 4.99-inch screen, whereas the G2 over here, 5.2-inch screen. Still that same resolution, but it is a little bit bigger on the same size phone. We still have the 13-megapixel camera, which is really nice for people who love their pictures, but the LG takes things a step further. Has optical image stabilization. What that means is when you're in the camera mode, the camera will physically move to adjust for your movements. If your hand is shaking, if you're in a car driving, or maybe you've got you're shooting a picture of somebody who's running, the camera will physically move to adjust for all of those movements. Very nice there. It is still a quad-core processor, but it's actually a little bit faster. So it's a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core processor as opposed to the 1.9 over on Samsung. So we are faster on the G2. Another huge advantage that the G2 has over the Samsung is that it is Spark capable. So when Spark hits, either later this year or first quarter of next year, we're going to see speeds out of the G2 that the Samsungs just can't touch. We've been showing speeds of about 3 times faster than the regular LTE. Huge advantage for the G2 right there. The battery life is quite a bit longer on the G2. Unfortunately, one of the huge drawbacks is that there is no removable battery. So you have to just deal with the fact that the battery is internal, cannot be replaced. Also, the memory is set. While it is quite a bit larger, it's a 32 gig as opposed to the 16, you can't expand it. So you can't deal with memory cards. You're not going to be able to pull their memory card out of their old phone and put it in the new one. They just have to deal with the 32 gigs they have. On the upside, LG is running a promotion right now where every LG phone that you purchase comes with 50 gigs of cloud storage space using LG's box. And that comes for life, not just for 2 years. So definitely an advantage there. The knock-on makes accessing your phone a lot easier, especially since they've moved the buttons to the back of the phone. Now, this does have a few advantages as well. If your phone is off, so we'll just knock it off, you can hold the bottom button here down, and it will turn your phone on in camera mode. So you're not sitting there searching for the camera or having problems like that. Definitely advantage. If the phone is off and you hold the up button, let's go ahead and do that real fast. There we go. The phone will turn on in notepad mode. So you can take notes quickly. You're not sitting there searching for a notepad or anything. It's just easily accessible with the up button. And then, of course, you have the power button back there that can do this, what it always does on any phone. Again, with the camera on the LG has very similar to the Samsung. You can come in here to the modes. There we go. And you have a lot of different modes to access. We see the beauty face, just like over on the Samsung. We see the VR panorama. This lets you take the full 360 panorama. Instead of just around in a circle, you can actually go up, down, everywhere. We have burst shot. We have shot and clear. Shot and clear is very similar to the eraser mode in Samsung, where you can erase any photo bombing that happens. Very useful modes on the LG, just like the Samsung. Another advantage that LG has, which is kind of nice, these buttons down here are not set. You can actually customize them. If you don't like the way they look or you don't like the position, you can change them in the settings. Some people like having the back button on the left, some people like it on the right. You get to decide with this phone.
Unfortunately, it does have a drawback that it does take up some of your screen space, whereas the Samsungs are off the screen. So that's the LG G2. There's still a lot more features to go over, but I can't hit everything, so I just wanted to kind of show you some of the highlights, some of the things that can really be good selling points on a phone that some people aren't quite as familiar with.
All right, so that's the Samsung Galaxy S4 and the LG G2. Both amazing phones. Specs-wise, the LG G2 is a little bit faster, and once Spark hits, it's going to be 3 times the internet speeds that we see from the Galaxy S4. Galaxy S4 has some advantages in software, though. Theirs is tested. It's been around for a while. We know that it works, and they've already gotten all of the bugs worked out of the phone. LG G2 is still seeing a few bugs because it is such a new device. Those will go away soon, though. If I were going to pick between the two right now, I'd go with an LG G2, just because Spark definitely gives it more potential, and that faster processor means it's already running a little bit faster than the Galaxy. But it is a close race, and some people prefer the Galaxy name or the Samsung name, and so they're going to want those Samsung devices. Don't talk people out of a device that they want, but make sure you're putting the right person in the right phone.